Oh, hey now.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
We back at it again.
Hey. Good
We got a
morning.
good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Amy. I love that name.
Me too.
I don't. Everybody
And
has it.
don't say that. That was my mom's name.
It's
Everybody has it. It's so annoying sometimes, especially if somebody's bad.
Amy,
oh,
Amy, 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 Amy,
Amy,
Amy,
Amy.
Amy. Welcome, everybody. This is Spreading Love
Love.
Unapologetically.
Unapologetically.
That's just what it is. You know, we come with open arms, open hearts, open minds, just loving on people, understanding that life is what it is and things happen and people are people and all that good stuff. I want to shout out everybody, everybody. And I
Yes.
want everybody to give themselves a hug today and smile at yourself and tell yourself how great you are.
Mm.
This is cancers, all them cancers out there. Happy birthday to
Happy
y'all,
birthday, y'all.
to
July, baby.
y'all, special people. We all special.
Amy, when your
Uh,
birthday?
March 10th.
Oh, Jesus.
Pisces in the house.
Oh, Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Special shout out to Hunt Jeffy Joe over there in Dayton, Ohio. One of the guys who I met who's doing some great things and putting it down in Dayton. Special shout out to Nature Boy uh, over there in Philadelphia putting it down. He'll be coming on soon. Free Jay Burton.
Yes.
Free Jay Burton.
Free Jay Burton.
And
Yes.
Kim Kardashian even said Free Jay
DJ
Burton.
Burton.
Hmm. Check
Mm.
it out. She said it. She said it. She said it.
Yes.
And when you guys watch this podcast, or rep your city. Let us know where you're
Hey.
from. That's gonna be
Hey.
something new we do. Rep your city. Put your birthday in there so we can shout you out, celebrate
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Anybody who wants to come on, who wants to be a guest, they are more than welcome. This is an open forum to all different kind of topics, discussions. We don't disagree. Everybody's opinion is valuable. And I'll pass it on to Tam.
Oh, wait. Amy got knocked
Uh-huh.
out. Amy got
Yes.
knocked out. Amy, come
Yes.
back.
Come back, Amy. Come back.
You lost your signal.
Yep.
You lost your signal. You got to come out and come back in. Hey. Jarvis says she's Dayton,
Dayton.
Ohio. Hey.
Okay.
Right now. All right now.
Dayton, Ohio.
Ohio. Hey.
That is my hometown. If you don't know that, I probably know you or not. But we will get to know each other. Yep.
Hello. So,
Dayton in the house. Capricorn
Venus in the
gang.
house. Bedford Heights is in the house. Bedford
Okay,
Heights is in the
Capricorn.
house. Tamura Freeman with Spreading Love Unapologetically, and one of your hosts, and also with Omni Global Solutions. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being here. I just want to thank God this morning for everything that He has been revealing and just blessing us with. You know, that wake up call, that wake up in the morning, our health, our strength, our wealth. I thank Him for what He's done, what He's doing, and what He's going to do. I thank Him for protecting our families. Um, and I can go on and on. Shout outs. I want to shout out Lulu Cameron. She's an amazing activist and advocate for the justice involved throughout the United States. I want to shout out Roxanne, of course, who actually is starting to improve. She's starting to feel better. my daughter, Nicole Rogers, who is getting ready to hopefully go back to work soon. Lord Jesus. I, I want to shout out Wax over at No Static Radio, who has been supporting our all of our endeavors, like from day one. He's always listening in. Thank you, Wax. We appreciate you. Um, and anyone else who's listening in, Jarvis, who's been there from day one. And as you could see, she says, shout out from Dayton, Capricorn. Um, me personally, y'all know me. I don't do zodiacs and all that. I'm a child of God, but I'm definitely a September baby. So we gonna say, hey, watch your mouth, watch your mouth. I'm a September baby, and I ain't telling my age either. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody that has been like jumping on our post this week. It's been real this week, lady. I was busy. Kecia did a really funny video, and then she asked y'all a question, and y'all definitely answered it. So we thank you. And I'm gonna hand it back over to you, Miss Gaylisa.
Okay, thank you, Tam. I got it. I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna hold it because we want to know. The question was, would you do an interview? I guess with a serial killer, and there were so many different responses. And we had the professor Amy Ray Davis over here in the next box next to me. Amy, you on mute. Take yourself off mute.
I was trying. It's been that kind of morning already.
Yes. This is Amy Ray Davis. We met some years ago when we first started doing a podcast from No Static Radio, and we have been networking and conversating and learning and growing together. How are you today, Amy?
Tired, but I'm good. How are you?
Good. I am doing well. Thanks for asking. Um, Amy, if you would give us a little brief introduction.
All right. About me or about
You, and then you can go right into the question for today and
okay.
our topic for today.
Okay.
So take it away.
All right. So I am Amy Ray Davis, and I am a professor. And it's true crime. I grew up in the era of Adam Walsh, the makings of America's Most Wanted. We see unsolved mysteries, and we didn't have cable, so those were on main networks, and so that's what I watched growing up.
Mm-hmm.
That was also during the era of when you see like the serial killers really being covered in the news, like Bundy and Dahmer, and all of that. And so there was, I think, a fascination that kind of came with it. And then as I, grew older and stuff like that, there was a point, when I was on bed rest while I was pregnant. And so I was sitting there playing with zodiac ciphers, because I mean, I didn't have anything else to do. And this was, of course, all before, social media. And, it's just been one of those things that I've kind of kept coming back to. Recently, I started doing a live broadcast twice a week with two of my friends, Andrew from the Unforbidden Truth podcast, and then Jennifer from Two of a Crime. And we started going live, and we started talking with inmates that are in prison. And we started talking with other people as well. So one of them was the serial killer. And so it ended up becoming the next, I guess, thing on the list.
Are you there? Did we lose you, Amy?
No, I'm here. No,
okay.
Tamara's back.
Hey.
I'm listening.
Okay.
How you doing, Gerald? Go ahead, Amy.
All right. So it became the next kind of possible project. And it became one of those things that I had to really kind of think about, do I or don't I? And it was because he came to me and he said, hey, if you'll write a book, I'll give you my 11 undisclosed victims. So then that became your topic of the week. Would you do it? Would you not?
Back then.
Woo.
Wow.
That's a crazy. That's crazy.
How long ago was this?
I don't know. This was probably like 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
It was very recent. This is not my first encounter with anybody who
Mhm.
would be considered, high profile or who's even been called a serial killer.
Mhm.
Although it's funny because when I listened to him talk about like his crimes in particular, I didn't automatically think of him as being a serial killer. And I think that has to do with that whole upbringing of Dahmer and
Yes.
Bundy and things like that. Because when I was listening to him talk about his crimes, they were more like a rage in the moment type thing. But apparently, the whole definition of serial killer has just kind of changed. There was no stalking, there was no like seeking out. And I guess I was just kind of thinking of that old school type thing that we, kind of learned about back in the 80s and 90s.
Mhm.
Wow.
So, what did you think? What was your first thoughts when he said that? Well, you said you were not new. Someone had said that to you before. But what were your thoughts? What was your first thought?
Okay. I mean, when do you want to start?
Right.
I mean, I really did. It was one of those
Mhm.
things of, it was kind of a no-brainer to me because I was like, I was sitting there thinking about it. And I know this is going to sound awful, so don't judge me. But it wasn't the fact that I was sitting there thinking about, there's always justice for the families, right?
Mhm.
Always. But my first thought was, how many people have been wrongfully incarcerated?
Right.
And that really bugged me. That
Mhm.
really, really bugged me. So when that was on the table, like I started thinking about, could I live with myself if I didn't try to help somebody in that situation? You know, the justice for the families is going to come naturally, but that's a process.
Mhm.
That's not something that somebody just comes along and confesses to the crime and they're like, oh hey, we'll just let you out of prison today, because that's just not how it works.
Right. Yeah. I certainly understand that. Um, can you give us an interesting story about maybe one of the most, I don't know, controversial, dramatic things that you have heard or people that you have encountered?
um yeah. I would say that probably the most controversial thing, and it's not involving this particular guy.
Mm-hmm.
The most controversial thing I would say that I have encountered in total has to do with the Atlanta child murders. And for those who don't know, that is from 1979 to 1981. And Wayne Williams was convicted of 2 adults who happened to be on this list of 29 different victims. They were not all children. They ranged from 6 to 29, I believe. Um, Anyhow, what happened when I started looking into that case and I started kind of digging into it more, I started noticing a lot of things that the media covered up, and that bugged me. And when I started talking about it with people, I noticed that in this case in particular, a lot of people had very firm opinions about something that didn't have a lot of information out there in the universe about it. So they've got these strong opinions, but they're based on minimal information. And that was something that really kind of got to me. For example, one of the victims, Louis Jeter, he actually gets talked about quite a bit because his was the one that was connected to a guy named Charles Sanders that they were saying was a white supremacist who did it. Well, in that particular case, what they don't talk about is when you look at his autopsy report and you look at his pictures, there's definitely some ritualistic stuff that's there. And you're muted.
You know me, Amy. I'm always mute myself. Like what? When you say ritualistic, like what do you mean?
His feet were missing.
What? Oh Jesus.
His feet were missing.
Okay.
Not only were his feet missing, there was portions of skin that had been filleted off of
Okay.
him. And in the autopsy, the wording was very specific. It said that he had damage to his head, scalp, and his scalp, face, and neck from small animals. But then it said the rest of it said the skin had been removed, not by small animals. There was no designation about small animals or anything. And then it also said, and his feet were missing. And that also was not, there was nothing that put it to the small animals either.
Wow. Okay.
So things like that was never mentioned in the news. It was never mentioned in the news either when Patrick Balthazar, when he went missing, and they put out this sketch, this police sketch of this white dude, and he has a turned up brow. It's one of those things that it's very significant, really. And then, what they don't tell you is that guy in that sketch, he's a white dude, and he looks exactly like this guy named Jim Walraven, who had just been convicted. Well, he was convicted after this, but he looks just like Jim Walraven, who was called the Atlanta Bathtub Strangler.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I remember you talking about these cases. Has anything been resolved since?
No.
Is it nothing? Still nothing?
No, nothing. There is newly discovered evidence in the case that has been turned over to his attorney. But outside of that, no. We're still in a hurry up and wait.
Okay. If anybody wants to call in and join the conversation, the phone number is 614-800-5673. Again, it's 614-800-5673.
So in that case, though, in terms of like the controversy, though, it's like you see the media manipulating.
Right. Yeah.
You see the police manipulating and things like that. And those things don't sit well with me at all.
At all. I mean, but the media, that's their job, Amy. It's to manipulate the viewers' minds. We know that, especially based upon recent events, that's going on. When they want to shine the light on a specific person, that's exactly what they do. They shine a light on specific people, but their job is not to tell the truth. I can tell you that much. Even though it should be ethically correct, they don't do that. We know that. They want to keep the interest of the viewer, and so they put out false information without even doing proper investigation. But we hold the police departments and the investigators responsible for stuff like that,
Absolutely. And it's the media has a way of being their mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Giving you the bits and pieces that they want the public to know, even if it's stuff that's already out in public information.
Yep. Feed them lies. That's what we say. We feed them lies,
Yes.
Why not? Feed them lies, because they're going to believe anything anyway, They're going to believe whatever is put out. Unfortunately, without doing their own, thought-provoking steps, which is sad, but
no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, sweetie.
Oh, I was just going to say it's interesting because, the reality is that true crime is something that's still a massively growing area, you know,
Yeah,
and it's one of those things that if you can, tap into the right producers and stuff like that, like you can get anything put out there. You can get,
Mm-hmm.
and these stories, I mean, some of them, these kinds of things need to be told. They need to be put out there and shown that, don't listen to every single thing that you see. Like, do your own research.
I agree. I agree. So, what's the name of your podcast again?
I don't know. We don't have a name. I know. I told him that we need to do that since we're doing it regularly now. It just kind of started out as a way to help Andrew grow his TikTok.
Right, right.
And then it kind of went from there, and we've just continued doing it. And like we're booked all the way through September.
Wow,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing.
So it's been a lot of fun. I've been getting to hear a lot of different things. Like we had a guy on, his name was Stephen Wiggins.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Did you? He
Yeah,
called.
no, I was over there like, oh my god.
He was on Tennessee's death row, and he's in there for the cop, for the murder of a cop.
Yep.
And what was so interesting about it was that we had his girlfriend, his accomplice in this on the week before, and she's the only female that we've had on that has been in prison. And
Oh,
this I found actually quite interesting because later on I was told, "Oh my god, if you could get this woman and this woman and this woman," and I was like, "Let me tell you about what happened with Erica." So when we had Erica on, she was telling the story about what happened, and all of the females in there were just tearing her apart. Like they were like, she's not taking responsibility. She's not doing this. She's not doing that. And I was like, oh my God. And so when we had him on, I said exactly what she had told us, which was, I did not put us in that position. She's talking about how she didn't know, like there was no planning to this. There was no really anything. She didn't know that this was going to happen. They were in a drug state and everything anyhow. But what had happened was he decided that he was going to, handle business. And he told us all about it. It was pretty graphic. And, but when I was listening to it and I told him that, he said, she's right. And I'm just like, man, they just like eviscerated this girl the week before. And I'm like, this is just a good reminder that we need to be girls. We need to not be like doing the things that we're doing to tear each other down and stuff like that.
I agree. I agree. That I think that's how a lot of women are sitting in prison right now from following the wrong person. When you
Oh,
agree with
absolutely.
a lot of women, I know that we had a guest on the show who basically spoke about being in prison for 30 something years, and the crime that committed, she didn't even know that was going to happen, but she did that time.
Right.
And it's a lot of women sitting in prison right now for just some really stupid stuff, either that or killing their abusers.
Andrew, the one that I do it with, he just said on TikTok that he just released an interview between Stephen Wiggins and Erica Castro Miles, and that it was a very like um I don't know, like very emotional.
Wow.
I haven't heard that one yet. But I mean, you could tell like with the way they talked about each other that, there was still a lot of care there, even though, this is what they're facing.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's there. It's definitely there. Wow, Amy, you I don't know how you do it. I know one of our viewers, they wrote on our post. She said she said I would come on social media with a whole different type of name, a different picture, a different everything. So it's like there is no way that she would, there was no way that she would be on social media interviewing serial killers and mass murderers and have her real picture on any type of social media platform. Because
Well, it was one of those things that when I started doing it, my whole government name's already out there. And so it's like, well, what do you do? I mean, I can't backtrack it now.
right.
Right. I mean, hey.
I mean, we got the
That,
professor up there for you, but
right.
we was trying to have some anonymity there, but
It's
your name
fine.
has been out there, Amy. I remember we have the first interview that you did with us.
Oh, back in 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So yeah, your name has been out there all
Yeah.
over the place. But
I
you know,
can't escape it. I figure I might as well embrace it. Um,
right,
you know,
Yes.
it is one of
right,
those things too that, I've had to deal with, things going to like possibly if I do anything that's going to possibly end up in the news, like I have to let my bosses know.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's one of those things that I joke with my boss now about it. Because like she told me over spring break, she's like, or right before, she's like, you better take some time off. You better take some time off. I was like, okay, I'll take at least 2 days off. I will. And she's like, I don't want you to get burned out. And so I took my 2 days off and we went to Alabama with cadaver dogs to search for a missing girl.
Oh my goodness,
And
Amy.
I know. The dogs alerted too, so we had to go through and talk to the police and stuff like that, and they had to go out there and dig it up, and they found bones, and now it's a battle with the police because um, they're just liars. You heard me, Baldwin County. Um, but I
Wow.
had to go back, and my boss was like, "What'd you do?" I was like, "Well, let me just tell you. Over the holiday,
What happened was
I said, this is what I did." And I was like, and I bet you're going to tell me not to take time off from work from now on.
Right.
Or
oh
just
my
or just take
goodness.
up knitting or something.
Oh my goodness.
So, Amy, can you tell everybody a little bit about what you actually? Why are you called a professor? So, what do you actually do?
I am a professor. I actually I run a paralegal studies program, and I teach everything that everybody else doesn't want to teach. But I also teach the intro classes, like only. Those are just mine now because I'm the only full-time faculty. And I like for the students to be able to get to know me
Right.
because
Hmm.
adjuncts can come and go, but I want them to know me and know that, like, even if you're stuck in a class and you don't like the adjunct, like, I'm still here. Like, you can take another class with me and, we'll work on it and I'll help you. And so that's the only class that I teach that's actually dedicated to just me.
Hmm.
Wow.
That's great.
It's worked out
Wow.
so far. My students love me.
I bet. Yeah, I bet. Well, there goes Tam. She's out of the game.
It's starting to storm here again.
Right. Uh huh. I see Keisha's out there diligently
Yeah.
passing out meals, doing community service work, representing Intense Productions, Unapologetic 12. Of course, we always want to give honor to God and thank Him and bless Him. And Keisha is the warrior out there, boots on the ground every week, giving people food. Her church, shout out to her church and her diligence and resilience, and that's what we do. And we are here talking with the professor, and she's giving us some interesting tidbits about what's been going on in her life. So, what are you currently involved in?
I mean, outside of teaching, actually, I don't teach again until August 19th. So I'm on a break there.
Hmm.
That
Okay.
means I can get into some trouble. Um, no, I'm,
yeah. We're going up to Indiana and make some noise, trying
well,
to
I'm
get my
here for it.
son out. Right.
I'm here for it. Um, I'm in the process. Like I said, we do the lives twice a week where we interview different people. We haven't had just like inmates on. We've had other people on. Like we had one with Jody Plauché. His father, everybody. pretty much knows it if they see the footage. But his dad was the one that shot a dude on live TV at the airport as he was walking through with police, because that was the guy who had kidnapped Jody when he was younger.
Oh, wow.
Sexually abused him, all that stuff. And he's sitting there pretending he was on a payphone and turned around and shot him as he walked by.
Wow.
Yeah. We've had Dr. Bill Kimberlin. He is a forensic psychologist who specializes in helping death row inmates. And he has a book called Watch Me Die. And he has talked about like the executions and stuff that he's had to witness. Lots of like really interesting people. We had a survivor of the Aurora, Colorado movie theater shooting. Holmes. We had one of those victims on where she talked about that whole, scenario, what it was like.
Can you give the viewers your date and time of the show, and how can they find you on social media and all that good stuff?
So they can find me on social media under Amy, AMIE, Ray Davis. I'm on that under TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, probably everything else. I don't even know what all I have, but they can find me on that. We do it on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights mostly. I know Andrew's going to be mad because I don't remember who Tuesday is this upcoming week. But we are going to have Nicholas Burston on Wednesday night, and Nicholas is the cousin to one of the Atlanta child murder victims. So we'll be talking about that in a little more detail for the first time.
Okay. And is there a specific time?
It's usually nighttime. But no, we kind of try to work with everybody's schedule, and Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the best ones. So it's we try to put up an event on Facebook so that people can see it there too.
Okay.
But this latest thing that I've been working on, by the way, is whether or not to help this particular guy disclose his other 11 victims, which range up to Ohio.
Wow.
So have you decided what you're going to do?
Oh, I've already started.
Yeah.
Now you already know. She already
I know her. I know her.
No, listen, we've already uncovered enough on the first victim to turn it over to police.
Okay.
But it wasn't just, listen, when I tell you that cadaver dog search that we did, when I tell you that the cops there, like, they got under my skin so much about it that this go round, I actually told the cop, I said, I was not going to hand this over to you until I knew that there was enough to hold you accountable as well.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Because that was the thing. Like when they went out and did the dig in Alabama, they go out there and they do this dig. And then I see the pictures afterwards and I'm like, y'all did a scratch. You didn't dig. You just peeled off like the first layer of skin. And of course you found animal bones there. So they just found animal bones and like quit. No, that's not okay. Those dogs have never been wrong. And they have over 1,000 searches.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have they found any of the bodies?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. The lady who did it with us, her name is Tracy Sargent, just in case anybody ever needs cadaver dogs. Her name was Tracy Sargent, and she's like so well known for like having these like skilled dogs and the skills to train them and handle them and everything else, that she's the one that went with Nancy Grace to Aruba to look for Natalie Holloway.
Oh, wow.
Nancy Grace isn't going to just take, somebody and her dogs that doesn't have any kind of credibility behind them.
Wow. Holy.
Yeah.
You go, girl. Everybody has their own specialized gift. That is
I mean,
yeah.
Right
you
now,
know what we're talking about before the show. You know what that is.
Because I'm a white girl.
It's a white foot.
And next week topic is
Woo!
white
White,
people stuff and
white
what's
people
black
stuff.
people stuff. What's
White
black
people
people
stuff.
stuff and what's white
White
people
people
stuff.
stuff. And white people
There's
stuff.
some
Listen,
white people stuff.
you know what's so funny about it is that when I was talking to a producer, because I went to a producer, you know, I
Uh-huh.
said, listen, we have this opportunity to help uncover these other victims. And so I said, would that be something that we would want to record?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, if we can come up with one of them and we can show them that there's definitely something, at least out of all of them, that's definitive, then we'll do it. But she said, but you've got to have a male host.
Right.
And I
Right.
said, what? And so I started like, you know, kind of thinking about it and whatnot. So there's a show called I think it's called Very Scary People. Donnie Wahlberg from New Kids on the Block hosts that. Why? He's not connected to true crime. No, but it's because you have the majority of middle-aged white women watching it.
Wow.
Mhm.
So that is the true crime, like major audience is the middle-aged,
Right.
white woman.
I wonder why.
Well, there's some theories there about that.
There's another topic.
That's another topic. But hey, listen. So what we got? Hey, Amy, we really appreciate you coming on the show today, man. You have definitely enlightened not only us but our viewers as well. You guys, please go watch their podcast, their shows. You can connect to Amy through Amy Ray Davis. She is located on Facebook, TikTok. Are you on Instagram too?
I am.
Instagram. Look, she's connected on all of them right now.
Mhm.
So coming up next week, we got some really cool things happening. Next week, I think Gaylisa's gonna be. Where are you
At
gonna
the
be?
jazz
At the
festival.
Cincinnati Jazz Fest. So Gaylisa will be live from the Cincinnati Jazz Fest. And then on August 3rd, we have Rasha Shur L. He will be coming on and talking about Black fatherhood. And that's separate. Black fatherhood. And if you guys don't know him, he's formerly known as Brother Sincere Teach. He is an amazing community activist, and he has been also, he's justice involved as well. So, anything else? Kecia, what you doing?
Shout
Girl,
out
I'm
to
down
you,
here
baby
feeding. I'm down here
child.
feeding my people.
Feed the
Feeding my
people.
people.
Feed the people.
Yes,
Yep, feeding my
yes.
people.
Feed them. Feed them.
Feed my
This is
people.
the highlight. This the highlight. What's happening, baby?
Feed my
Looking
people.
good, girl. All right.
361 and
Yeah, just down here passing out the food, doing what I do. You know,
Okay.
helping people, loving every minute of it. Tired as heck. I ain't get into one thing last night from Noah's Ark, but hey, God is good. That's all I can say. God is good.
Yes, he
I
is.
can't
Yes,
wait
he
to
is.
really talk to her. What's her name? What's her name again, sweetie?
Amy, the
Professor?
professor.
Amy.
Mhm.
Amy. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk to her. Oh my goodness. I was so geeked up, but I'm so busy doing what I'm doing. I had so much to say to her. So much to say to her, but I'm so wrapped up in this. But we definitely all have to have a personal conversation on a
Mhm.
couple of things and stuff because she is a motivator, a creator. She's it. So we
Yeah.
definitely got to link
Yeah.
up with her so we can make some
Yeah.
major things happen too, all over. Because just hearing her
Yes.
talk, I was getting geeked up.
Yes.
Yeah, so we definitely gonna have a personal conversation with her, like on the three-way, all of us, so we can just talk, put some things together, make some things happen. Because I see us doing some great things just with her energy. Her energy is our energy, so we're gonna put it together and have super energy. So,
Man,
I'm excited. I'm excited. The
Love
professor
it.
is just she's that. But I love
She
y'all. I gotta
she
get to giving
is.
out these. Yes, I gotta finish giving out this food, you guys. So set it up tomorrow so we can all have a talk.
I got you.
Okay.
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 Thanks,
All
Keisha.
right.
Thank
I
you,
talk
Kecia. We
to you
love you. We
later.
miss
Okay.
you.
Bye bye.
All right.
I did
Peace.
want to tell you guys that I have a guy that I met and I'm going to start hosting him because he doesn't have enough to go live on his own yet. But I
Yeah.
also think that it's a really good thing to talk about anyhow. But he wants to talk about men's mental health, especially in the Black community.
Yeah.
And he has done so much like healing on his own and stuff like that. So just watch for that, because I'll start putting up, we're going to work out a schedule to where we can start doing it regularly with him. And we can start, going through that, because I think the fact that he has been able to, he hasn't just been able to talk about it. I mean, he shared it with me. He's been sharing it with others, but he had the ability to go back and talk to his mom about it.
Wow.
Oh,
And
great.
and that was something that I thought was really, really huge and so
Mm-hmm.
important. So
I know when you and I talked about it, we said we can bring him on the show at least once to have a conversation with him. We've actually had some guests on the show who specialize in mental health, in particular for Black men. So
Mm-hmm.
we would love to have him on the show. We can bring our previous guests back on as well, and he could build up an audience from that as well, Amy.
that would be amazing, because that's his goal now. I mean, he's a comedian, and a lot of that comes from the trauma, trying
Mm-hmm.
to stuff down that trauma.
Yeah.
And but he's just amazing. He was so amazing that when I only met him one time, and I felt inspired.
Wow.
I went home and I started thinking about a show that I had been wanting to work on, and I actually wrote out a part with him specifically in mind,
Wow.
and I sent it to him, and he did something for me that was so amazing that I've never had done before. But he actually took my words and acted out the monologue, and I was like, oh,
Oh my
Oh.
God, that is cool.
this is so amazing. And it
Wow.
was everything that I thought it would be, because I just look, he was perfect for it. He's kind of like, I don't know, he kind of reminds me of like a young Bernie Mac.
Oh God.
Mm.
Yeah, we definitely got to bring him.
Oh, you'll see. I'm telling you, his face and everything is just animated like Bernie Mac's. I mean, just no poker face.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, thank you, Amy.
Thank
Again,
you for
thank
having
you.
me.
So you said dates. 8/3 is Rosh Hashanah. 8/10. We got Mr. Nature Boy coming on the show.
Nature boy, y'all not ready.
Boy is in the house. On 8/17, we have LaShawn coming on the show. She's gonna be telling her story. 8/17. Oh, I do have two dates on here. And then we have Danielle Smith coming on the show to talk about the conversation. And 8/31 right now is to be determined. To be determined. So we have
Mm-hmm.
maybe one
A
opening.
special guest,
Special,
Miss
very
B.
special guest on
Miss B.
8/31. Miss
Yeah,
B.
Miss B. She
Upcoming.
coming in.
Yeah, 8/31. Then we have Chico Brown, Moose, and Darren Taylor Collins, who is an entrepreneur out of Akron, Ohio. Definitely looking forward to having a conversation with him and anyone, businesses out in the community. We, like we said, we out here spreading love unapologetically. So if you have a business in the community, you want to come on the show, reach out to us. That's what we're
Yeah.
here for. We want to spotlight you. We want to make sure that you get the recognition that you deserve.
Free J Burton. Free J Burton.
Burton, free
Free J Burton.
Burton. So
Please.
it's been a really great day. Oh yeah, Spotify.
Spotify.
And follow us if you have a Spotify account. Please follow us on Spotify at SLU SLU 216. We only have one podcast up episode at this time. We're going backwards. I'm going to try to put a couple of our episodes up. We eventually will be just streaming our podcast through YouTube and through Spotify and Apple and any other platforms that we could find where we could stream our stuff. But right now, we're enjoying doing what we're doing. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
As you
coming.
know, thank you.
Next
This
time, I
is
hope to come back with updates.
I was about to say this is
You
the
too.
first of many. Come
Yes.
on. We'd like you to come on as much as possible.
You
We
know it.
need the information. We need to build momentum behind things like this. And, it's more than just interesting.
Yes.
And I want to, everybody, please start reading. Take the time to read
Yes.
and start understanding that voting is more to do with the president. There are issues at the school level. All women are in jeopardy. They're trying to bring the abortion law back. So all women are in jeopardy. They're trying to cut out things in school. They're trying to cut out childcare. They're trying to cut out student loans. Take time to read and understand that voting is not just about the presidential election.
Yes.
There's a lot of things in jeopardy with this vote this year.
Yep.
And we have to read and understand and pay attention, get registered to vote. If you have not voted in the last three elections, you have to re register. If you
Yep.
move, change your phone number, change your name, you have to re register.
Yep.
You
Do
just
it now.
can't vote one time every 4 years. They kick you out the system.
Yep. Vote local, vote state. That's where the power, that's where it matters. That's where it
We
makes,
need help.
100%.
yeah.
We in Ohio need help. Everybody knows I am on the front line at the State House rallying for ending collateral sanctions, mass incarceration. It is the ex offender's time. It is our time. It is our turn to change the narrative about how people think about us.
Yep.
Every other group and every other demographic has got their day, and it's our time.
Yep.
And there are over 1 million people under 35 not registered to vote. That's ridiculous. We need you guys.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's real crazy. But
In
then,
Ohio, this I'm just talking about Ohio.
yeah, that's just Ohio. That's
This
just
is Ohio.
well, again, thank you guys. So we're gonna roll on out. You guys make sure you watch live from the jazz festival next week with
Yeah.
Miss Gaylisa. Because you know it's gonna be live. It's gonna be all the way.
We at the Jazz and Real. I'm going Jazz and Real Fest today. Next Saturday, Cincinnati Jazz Fest. Next Saturday, Dayton, Ohio Black Pride Festival representing New Theta Tau.
Look at her.
New Theta Tau. New. Yeah, shout out. So yeah, that's what we do.
All right.
Spreading love unapologetically.
Y'all
We
have a good
got merch,
we got merch.
shirts,
Oh, that was
cups,
great. I didn't even
mugs.
show. Well, I
I'm
could
out here every day at all these festivals selling merch.
merch. Got merch.
Merch, merch. Merch, merch.
Oh my goodness.
Thank y'all. We love y'all.
Y'all be blessed.
Be blessed. Believe in yourself.
Yes. Yes.